Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leyton. Being kind to one another, it's a very simple idea, but it can go a long way in providing happiness and even safety in your community. With us now is the mayor of Anaheim, who has long been a proponent of kindness.
Well, thank you,
Welcome,
Leslie.
Mayor Tom Tait. Now, it sounds simple, but you're proposing it as the root of a lot of different areas that are very important to a city in terms of El Nino preparation and the theory, if you see something, say something, which is really big in law enforcement right now in terms of terrorism and other things that are a real concern in the city of Anaheim.
Right, it's about, I mean, kindness is a very simple concept, but it actually is it creates what we call social infrastructure or social capital. So particularly in Anaheim, we started something about 5 years ago, and we're really invigorating that again now. It's called Hi Neighbor, and it's very simply get to know your neighbors.
So many of us, I mean, we come home, we go in our garage, we go into our house, and the garage goes down. That's it. Occasionally, we go out to get the mail, and we see the neighbor, and you say hi, and they're like, what do you want?
Right.
How do you break the ice and get the ball rolling so that we can get to know one another and know what is normal in our neighborhood and what may be out of place?
Well, there's a million ways to do it. I know my wife and I, a few years ago, we didn't know our neighbors. We just put out a little flyer on everyone's front step and said, come by our house. We'd love to meet you. We think it's important. So if something goes wrong, we're connected. And at first it's a little awkward, but it's just at first. And then, now when I come home, my neighborhood feels like a whole different place because I know my neighbors, and it's important for civic reasons. It's important to know who your neighbors are, to know who shouldn't be there. And of course, with this threat of terrorism, it's important. You see something, say something, that neighborhoods are connected. It's also important for emergency preparedness and response. A lot of talk, we're getting prepared for El Nino. We've always been thinking about earthquakes, but now, floods and loss of power for a long time. If you're getting to know your neighbor for the first time when there's an emergency, we're all in trouble. It creates that social resiliency. Because if you're relying on the police department or fire department, they might be at the hospitals or there's just not enough of them. So if your neighbor's house collapses, it's got to be the neighbors who go and dig them out.
Mm-hmm. That is a theme we keep hearing over and over, that we need to be more responsible for our environment, what's going on. If we do know our neighbors, we can know who lives there, what resources we might be able to provide for each other, and an inventory of who's there and who may need help and who can help us. Exactly.
If you don't know the person lives 5 doors down and they're a nurse or someone else has a construction company, when the disaster happens, it's almost too late. But finally, knowing your neighbor, it's just important because people are happier. And they're happier when they care for their neighbors and their neighbors care for them. Really, that's what it's all about. It's about building community, and why not?
How does the internet and technology come into this? Or are you talking about the throwback to just, hey, what's up, peeking over the fence, having the little chats in the alley and things like that?
Well, I think in a way the internet kind of hurts because we connect online, but we have something called nextdoor.com. So if you want to connect through the internet, that actually could help. But really, this is about knocking on your neighbor's door and introducing yourself and getting to know one another. As simple as that.
It's very simple, but it makes a lot of sense, and we're always happy to have you here, Mayor Tom Tait.
Good to be here. Thanks, Leslie.
Thanks for being here. And thank you for joining us. I'm Leslie Leyton.